This video is about bearings. A bearing is used to give the direction of one point relative to another. There are two ways to give a bearing. A three-figure bearing or true bearing gives the number of degrees of clockwise rotation from north. The letter T is written after a true bearing to indicate that the bearing is relative to true north. Three-figure bearings are always written in three figures even when the angle measure is less than 100 degrees. For example, the direction indicated in the first diagram could be written as 061 degrees true, 61 degrees of clockwise rotation from north. The direction indicated in the second diagram is 205 degrees true, 205 degrees from north, because from north to south we have to rotate 180 degrees, then plus an extra 25 degrees, making 205 degrees in all. A reduced bearing gives the direction as an acute angle relative to north or south and indicates the direction of rotation as either towards the east or towards the west. The direction indicated by the first diagram could be written as north 61 degrees east, which means starting from the north, rotate 61 degrees towards the east. The direction indicated by the second diagram could be written as south 25 degrees west, which means starting from south, rotate 25 degrees towards the west. When giving directions using reduced bearings, the convention is always to start with north or south and always finish with either east or west. In these examples, we have to draw diagrams for the following. The first is 105 degrees true. That means from north, rotate 105 degrees in a clockwise direction. We should have something that looks a bit like this. The second one is 207 degrees true. So from north, rotate 180 degrees will get you to south, and then another 27 degrees. So 207 degrees will be somewhere out here. The next one is a reduced bearing. From the south, rotate 20 degrees towards the west. Your bearing should look something like this. And the final one is north 82 degrees and 15 minutes towards the west. Your diagram should look something like this. Now we have to give directions for these different diagrams. We have to give them in two ways, so let's do the reduced bearings first. This first one looks like starting from south, rotate 65 degrees towards the west. So that's how we'd write it, as a reduced bearing. Now this next one is a little bit tricky. Whilst it's tempting to say start from the east, rotate 28 degrees towards the north, that's a bit unconventional. Reduced bearings should always start with north or south and finish with east and west. So it's really a matter of finding this angle. That's the one that's important. We can work that out by taking 28 away from 90 degrees to give us 62 degrees. And the bearing could be written as north 62 degrees towards the east. The next one is easier as a reduced bearing. Starting from north, rotate 45 degrees towards the west. And the last one, once again, it would be tempting to say east 30 degrees to the south, and whilst you wouldn't be wrong, it's certainly not conventional. The best answer is starting with south and using this angle here, south 60 degrees towards the east. Now we're going to use the same diagrams and give their bearings, this time as true bearings. So it's the number of degrees of clockwise rotation from north. Now the first one is going to be 180 degrees from north to south plus another 65. So all up it's going to be 245 degrees true. The next one, we've already worked out that angle was 62 degrees there, so the bearing is 062 degrees true. The next one is going to be 45 degrees less than a full circle, so it's 360 degrees minus 45. The true bearing is going to be 315 degrees of clockwise rotation from north. And the last one, to get around there, it'll be 90 plus 30 is 120 degrees true.